Hi there, I'm Alan Higgins. This Notes on Sourcing recording complements my outsourcing and offshoring class. My goal for the lectures and the recordings is for us to learn enough about global sourcing such that each of us can better contribute across a whole organization, whether we're working in a startup, a small business, or a global enterprise. Broadly, I hope that we become better at organizing and participating in globally distributed and co-located teams, that will have developed a better understanding and awareness of the different theories and ideas supporting globally distributed work, and in particular across the different dimensions of distance. A deeper awareness implies, of course, that this won't just be a theoretical understanding, but a practical, applicable, actionable understanding and approach to organizing sourcing initiatives. I also want to develop and exercise our understanding of the economics of organizations and global trade. And I want us to be able to engage in original research to analyze the economic impact of sourcing and supply chains on our organizations and on national economies, and to draw conclusions about sourcing's role in the constitution of globalization. A caveat before we dive in: these recordings are not a substitute for participating in lectures, classes, or groups, so do please turn up, turn on, and take part. I will be posing a lot of questions in each of these notes. Not many will be answered here. I might not even have the answers, so you, in a sense, will be building your own knowledge and arriving at your own conclusions. Let's start by asking a question. Why Ireland? Or back up a little, let me make a pitch for why global sourcing is important, and in particular for Ireland. Well, actually, you could ask the same question from wherever you're sitting. It could be Poland, India, Kenya, Australia, even the USA or China. My argument is that global sourcing is relevant to and impacts all of them. But let's ask the question anyway. Why Ireland? In the 1990s, they came for the cost savings and market access. They stayed for the talent and quality of life. I wrote that and I thought, did I hear this quote at an IDA, Irish Development Agency, or Enterprise Ireland event, or did I just make it up? I'm not sure. But in any case, I could have heard it in either setting, and I think it holds. Ireland's case supports an argument that over the long term, encouraging foreign direct investment, or FDI, of international enterprises to establish subsidiaries and captive service centres in Ireland, enticed by tax breaks, low tax rates perhaps, or access to the single market, rather than being a mere short-term cost-saving or convenience, their presence has had a positive transformative impact on the country itself, and maybe also on the enterprises that took that step. The Ireland-based offices of multinationals have a history of being effective at moving up the inner value chain of the host organisation. This story has unfolded in the Irish subsidiaries of multinational corporations such as Microsoft and Amazon, Apple, LinkedIn, Google, Salesforce, Symantec. A small office is established for some well-defined purpose, for example, localization, manufacturing, packaging or repackaging for European customers. But over time, additional, more strategic and sticky lines of business take root. Sales, support, finance, treasury, even R&D, to the point where the Irish operation turns into European, Middle East and Africa EMEA operations office or an international headquarters. The simple link between the sourcing activity then and the national economy is that as you grow the fraction of high-value activities, you reduce, automate and efficiently scale up the delivery of low-value activities. Where do productivity increases come from? In addition to things like transformative market changes like digitalization, the shift in business process and manufacturing to offshore locations offering lower costs can underpin that competitiveness. Nearly any aspect of business activity can be outsourced. Payroll, accounting, finance, legal, HR, purchasing, logistics, marketing, sales, support, corporate and customer service delivery, digital infrastructure through to, at the radical end, new product development and R&D. Today, like all developed markets, Irish firms and multinationals based in Ireland outsource organisational activities to both local and international based outsourcing providers. Even core or primary value processes can be outsourced, albeit at a higher risk. I'll conclude with some questions. What does the future hold for a country or a city aiming to tap into the lucrative but competitive international market for supplying digitally mediated products and services? With ongoing changes in how sourcing is performed, changing demographics, immigration, the cost of labour, access to accommodation, local costs of goods and services, challenging the established norms, has offshore outsourcing had its day? Has Ireland itself become a net consumer of outsourcing services rather than a provider? Does demand by business for ever lower costs erode a local economy? And what, if anything, does society gain from growing the sourcing sector? What are the advantages and disadvantages? How does Ireland stack up today as a location, a destination, as a place to run a business or figure into somebody's business strategy? Is Ireland a net consumer or supplier of outsourced services to other countries, to the world? Whether providers of outsourced services based in Ireland themselves source their activities onshore from Irish SMEs or offshore or not is the strategic question. And finally, how sustainable is our growing role as an enterprise hub for European and international operations? And returning to the Irish experience, what happens when the cost savings in the broader economy evaporate and talent is mobile? Do they stay? If they do, are they staying for the weather? Additional notes on sourcing will cover topics such as sourcing economics, sourcing models, countries for sourcing, supplier capabilities and strategies, leveraging knowledge, the client perspective, IT outsourcing life cycles, governance, distributed teams, and emerging issues. So that's all for this note. I hope you find it useful. If you're one of my students, I hope to see you in class for a fuller discussion. And don't forget to subscribe for updates. And if you're curious, feel free to explore other notes on the Design Talk YouTube channel. All the best. Over.